Like my next guest and I were saying just off camera a second ago, it's been a minute. 6 years was the last time we saw Alex Reyes compete in the cage, and I'm so happy to see him back in action. He's going to be taking on Trevor Peek. He's going to be welcoming Trevor to the UFC on February 25th. It is Alex Reyes, who I just mentioned, back here on the program. Alex, how are you, man?
I'm good, brother. Hey, thanks for having me again, James. And yeah, it's been a minute, man. And like I said, excited to speak with you again and honored to be on your show, man. So thank you for having me.
Hey, the honor's all mine, man. I remember when we did our interview years ago, and you made time for me, and I was really excited to catch up with you. I was telling you off air that Nolan King from MMA Junkie did a great story, great feature, a couple interviews of you being out and having a really serious medical condition, something where, you know, some of us didn't even think you would fight again, and here you are preparing for a camp. I wanted to start first with why was now the right time to come back? Why now of all, you know, times is this the ideal timing for you to be back in the cage?
You know, obviously it took a process to, you know, get over that injury and getting cleared by the doctors and things like that. So I've been putting the work in, been around the sport, been training around other high level fighters and getting back in there and mixing things up, and the body's responding really well. And, so I'm like, hey man, you know, I'm feeling great. Everything's coming together, you know, let's get back on that horse and keep riding.
How did you get through that mentally? It's like, you know, I would imagine it's kind of like, you know, watching something through a window. There's nothing you can do. You're just sort of stuck there. You're seeing the sport sort of go by the last 6 years. How did you get through that? You must have had a good support system.
I did, man. I had a great support system. You know, one of them, you know, being big was, you know, my coaches, my management, you know, my manager, Jason House, my coach at the time when I initially had the injury, Coach Colin Oyama, was extremely supportive of me and believed in me. And also the staff at the UFC, Heather Linden, put a lot of work into me and time and give me the confidence that I can come back and beat this. And, you know, the doctors weren't so so encouraging, you know, but that they're just doing their job. And, you know, I'm happy to prove them wrong at this time.
And how was it with the UFC? Obviously, you're back. You know, we don't see fighters take this much time off and then return straight to the octagon. It seems like you were in contact with them and everything. Was that just sort of, you know, consistent throughout the 6 years, or was it like once a month? Like take me through sort of the process of keeping in touch with the UFC.
Basically, keeping in touch with them was through my manager.
Okay, gotcha.
And, you know, they were also extremely supportive, you know, the whole time and understanding of my situation. And I'm very grateful for them and Sean Shelby for, you know, keeping me on roster and allowing me to have this opportunity to pick up where I left off, man. And so I'm extremely grateful to the UFC for that. And I'm excited, man. So thank you, Sean Shelby. Thank you, Jason House, and the whole staff at the UFC and Heather Linden for, you know, believing me, supporting me, and your time and efforts you guys have put into me. And I feel great, man. So I'm excited to get in there and do what I do and put on a show for all the fans and enjoy the sport that I love.
Let's talk about Trevor Peek, 7-0, undefeated, up and comer. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
He's a tough kid. I think it's an exciting fight. We both are finishers. And we're going to go out there and try to finish each other. You know what I mean? So those of you who don't know him or don't know myself, be excited, be ready for an entertaining fight. You know what I mean? We're going to be in there standing toe to toe, banging it out, slugging it out. And, you know, may the best man stay standing, you know?
In some ways, do you feel like this is your real UFC debut? Because you had really weird circumstances for your, you know, promotional debut with, you know, fighting up a weight class and short notice and all that. Now you've got, you know, full camp. I mean, 6 years to prepare for this, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it's like you know, it's sort of ideal situation for you here. Lots of notice, full camp, and fighting at 155.
Definitely, you know, the last fight with Mike Perry on the 3-day notice. I mean, it was an awesome experience to step in on a co-main event in 3 days notice was a rush. You know what I mean? And that's what we do this for. And it is definitely a different camp. You know, I got time to prepare. It is more like a debut because I have time to get ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I've already stepped in there on a co-main event, you know, with a ton of pressure. The pressure is not as high as it was then, you know what I mean? So there's definitely positives from that going into this fight, that the experience that I've gained through that first fight. But definitely my debut at the weight that I normally fight at, 155. And it feels great to be able to put in a full camp and prepare for one guy. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I was peeping your Instagram. I know you got a lot of friends who are in the UFC, obviously Chito Vera. I know you work with Bobby Green. Who have been some of the main training partners for this camp that are helping you get ready for Trevor?
Oh, main guy's getting ready right now. Bobby Green. I'm also working a little bit here with Alex Perez, one of my old friends. He's out here working as well too. Working with my original jiu-jitsu coach, who I got my black belt under, Robert Drysdale. And then also working with a longtime training partner and friend, teammate, Danny Pinto, working Muay Thai with him. So, man, the list goes on as far as people who I've trained with and other high-level athletes and stuff like that. But, plus there's tons of guys coming through and training out here. So I would say, biggest influence is Bobby Green, Alex Perez, Rivera, there's a couple other handful of guys that I'm working with that are coming through, but
which is like an all-star team there. The names you just mentioned there, right? I mean, a lot of mainstays, right, in the UFC, which is cool. So
definitely, man, they have a lot of, they've had a lot of success in the sport and in the organization, the company, and just lets me know that we're all on the right track and we're all doing the right things and developing and growing properly.
How's the weight cut? Because, when you get back in camp, I'm sure, you're not sitting on the couch. Obviously, you run a gym and you're probably keeping active and stuff. But how's that been, with so much time off?
I honestly picked up where I left off. I'm right at the weight that I want to be this far out. So everything's locked in, dialed in, and it's not bad. Talk to me fight week. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's why I got you a little bit before, because I know the week when you're cutting weight, that can be a little tough.
Right.
What about your corner? Who's going to be making the walk with you?
Bobby Green will be making the walk with me. And then most likely will be Robert Drysdale and Danny Pinto will be in my corner this fight.
Love it, man. How's this fight playing out on February 25th? How do you see it unfolding?
Oh, man, you know what? I just see me going in there, enjoying the whole process, enjoy walking back out again, getting back on that canvas and putting my heart and everything I have on the line out there, no regrets, no holding nothing back, and walking away with my hand raised. That's the goal, that's the vision, that's the dream. And I'm going to stick to that. And every goal that I've set for myself, I've achieved and succeeded at doing. So it's a victory getting back already for me. You know what I mean? But it's going to be that much sweeter when I get my hand raised on that night. So that's what I'm predicting, man. I'm predicting a win for me.
What are your goals for this year? You're getting back into this, into the cage. I'm sure, being active is important, but what are some things you'd hope to achieve this year? Because, this is the time of year where we start making goals and look ahead to the rest of the year.
Talking about personally or in
but both. I mean, I'm sure you got a lot of things you want to achieve this year.
Of course, man. You always got to stay positive and setting goals and moving forward. I like to stay active. I like to get another 2 fights this year. Try to get 3 fights in this year. Have an active year. Be busy, and continue investing in real estate. I have a cabin in the mountains right now, and
nice.
Another place up there. So I think those are my goals for right now. And then other than that, continue being there for my kids and watching them grow. And, my daughter has her first play coming up, and, hopefully I can sneak away to see that. So just continue being a good father and growing the gym, growing in life, and fighting more for sure.
How old are your kids now? I was trying to remember.
My daughter is 9 and my son is 5.
That's crazy. So when we did our interview before, I didn't have any kids. I got 2 now. So my son's my son's turning 6 this year, and then my other son is going to be turning 2. So it's crazy. So
it is crazy, man. Congratulations on that as well, man.
Thank you. My wife gets all the credit, but I do all my driving and stuff. I take my kid to jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. So it's all important. It's helped them. I'll tell you that. I'm a very big advocate of jiu-jitsu for kids. It's helped them in a lot of different areas. So
it really does. It's great for the kids. You know what I mean? I have a successful kids program, and I enjoy teaching the kids probably the most. And trying to get my son into it. He's just of age to start. He's 5, so I start at 5. So he's just starting to get into it and starting to move around, and it's pretty awesome being able to share that knowledge with my son. And hopefully someday he continues to enjoy it and maybe competes as well in jiu-jitsu.
That'd be cool. Back to this real estate thing. I find this so fascinating. How long have you been doing that?
Well, in 2020, I got into a cabin up there and rebuilt it. It was actually kind of part of my rehab. I have a background in construction. So when I wasn't fighting and I was only training. I had extra time. I mean, I was only teaching. I had some extra time on my hands because I wasn't, having the long practices and things like that morning and night. So I started working on the cabin, started rebuilding it, man. I rebuilt the whole thing on the inside with the help of a lot of friends and family coming through to help out as well. But rebuilt the inside, getting the outside done. So the deck and outside should be done this spring. And once I get that one fixed up, we'll look into getting another one and fix it up as well and continue growing it. I'm not so much Airbnb in it right now. It's more of a second home for me, vacation home, because we go up there
Big
so
time.
often.
Yeah, why not? Have something
Yeah.
like that. That would be so cool because that's, your kids will remember that, right? It's,
Yeah. And I want to, I put so much into it because I want to pass it down to them. So,
yeah,
when I'm gone, they can have it, and it's something that we'll have for the rest of our lives. We go up there for, we usually go up there for Christmas, when it's, holidays,
get away
Thanksgiving.
from everything, right? Yeah,
It's just beautiful, man, to go out there and just get
it's
some
awesome.
decent quiet and also get some elevation training in too.
Tell you what else is beautiful. This fight, man. I'm looking forward to it. February 25th, UFC Fight Night. Alex, great talking to you, man. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Man, sponsors, I want to thank Pharma Extracts. Thank you guys. CBD products have helped me through this whole process and stood by me and believed in me as well. And thank you. The products are amazing and great. And friends and family, man. Thank my wife, first of all, like we talked about earlier, holding the fort down and, running the kids around town while I'm gone and being a superwoman. All my friends and family that helped me when I was really down and out, and everyone that supported me and believed in me to get back to where I am. So thank you, everyone, to my family, my friends, all my students. That's about it, man. Thank you, everyone. And I'm just excited to get in there and put a show on. And thank you again, James, for having me on the show, man. And good talking with you again, my friend.